Hey Tank.
Yes, sir.
I think I want to do the opening like a New Year's Eve, ABC style. Here we are, end of the year show. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, I like it. Let's just hope that it's better than the shows they did.
Well, yeah, I at least can try. So, Happy New Year and welcome to No Talking During the Movies and welcome to 2021. Thank you for being with us. I'm your host, Stephen Austin. Your face is not helping me, Tank.
Ooh,
Oh, was it that bad?
it was bad. Yeah.
No.
Did you watch the shows?
I did watch the shows. I thought that was better than the shows.
It was, but that's setting a bar real low.
Touche.
I like your announcer voice though. It's cute.
Thanks. I've used it a lot. We're going, by the way.
Oh, sweet. All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. And welcome to 2021, the year where everything is past, is present, and we're looking forward to the future. The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. Yeah.
So that was better than mine by miles. So
Well, I've been doing this a long time.
yeah, touche. Tank, you are 2021, and I am 2020. Everybody's happy to see you, and they are pretty much done with me.
It's good.
All my humor comes from me putting myself down now.
I like it. It's a nice break from you putting me down.
No.
Appreciate it.
Tank, my question for you to start the new year. We're just gonna keep harping on 2020 for a little bit. What was your favorite movie and TV show that you discovered? It doesn't have to be brand new, but that you discovered in 2020. It can be brand new.
This is a good question because I did run into a bunch of stuff.
I mean, we couldn't help it.
Yes, absolutely. For me, I would say Schitt's Creek.
I feel like that's a lot of people's answers too.
Yeah, it was not only just a great show, very, very funny. I honestly feel like I was a better person after watching that show.
Oh wow.
I really do. And it was a great show. And so much fun stuff in there, like, little, Easter eggs and little, oh my God, that thing happened, for instance, there's a spoiler alert, but the show's been off the air for over a year now, so just eat it.
Little spoiler for Schitt's Creek.
They bought the Eugene Levy's character, Johnny Rose, bought the town for Dan Libby's character, David, and David was the only one who stayed,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Stuff like that. And watching most of your shows have character growth.
Right.
It's not always great. It's not always, and not only that they not become a better person, but a lot of time it turns into caricaturization of their characters. You see this a lot. Friends is a prime example of this, where they ruined Ross's character.
Sure, because they go to the far extreme of what has made them who they are.
It's like if a person found something in their personality that made other people laugh, and they just made that their entire personality.
Yeah, like me, making fun of myself.
Exactly.
That's going to be my new personality of 2021, and it will get old.
It will, quick. But with this show, it was all about the actual characters' growths as human beings. And it was so good. It had a lot of heart, very funny, some very quotable moments. I mean, it's kind of the perfect show, honestly. So I think that was probably awesome. my favorite discovery in 2020.
So that was your favorite show you discovered? So. Did you have a favorite movie you can think of off the top of your head? If not, I could go with my TV show.
Yeah, go with your show. I'll think about a movie for a second.
Okay, my TV show is one that I've been trying to get my entire friends group, and you actually just started watching Community. Right at the beginning of 2020, I started watching Community when it hit Netflix, and my God, I obsessed over this show. Same thing that you kind of said, not so much. So it does have Easter eggs and cool things that harp back and like little inside jokes. It's made by Dan Harmon, who does like Rick and Morty, but his level of humor, I think, shines in Community the best. And, the Russo brothers helped direct a lot of episodes and help write a lot of episodes. and they went on to do, every big Marvel film. It has so much special, stuff flown with it. I will say some of the characters do become characterizations of themselves, but for some reason in Community it works. I think for every character except maybe Britta, I think is the only one who's like going to the extreme of her character doesn't work for her. But there's still character growth and great plot points and developments, and it's hilarious. And honestly, the moment I finished it the first time through, I immediately rewatched it a second time, and then I actually, Tank, you know this because of you said you started watching it. I told you that I made a master list of Community episodes that I consider are like my favorites and like the really good ones. And then I even put stars next to some of them that are like, these episodes are perfect.
It's a really good show. I really do like it a lot. I love Donald Glover's character. I love
he only
Joel
gets
McHale.
better. Yeah.
And just only thing I don't like, and it's not in the way that they want you not to like, is Chevy Chase.
Yes.
You're supposed to dislike Chevy Chase, but you're supposed to dislike Pierce, I should say.
Pierce is his character's name.
But I dislike Chevy Chase.
Yeah, I understand. So, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He leaves, I think, in season 4, and it's because he doesn't think Dan Harmon's funny.
That's ironic right there.
Yeah, and it's just, there's a lot of behind the scenes drama specifically with Chevy Chase. But he has some pretty great moments in the show, I will say, even though, yes, I agree, he is like the worst. But
he's the worst. He does have funny moments.
He does.
But a lot of the stuff where he's supposed to be funny is incredibly cringy.
Well, yeah, because most of it, I also, you don't think that it's designed to be cringy though, because he's like the old man saying these like horrible things.
It's not those things, because those things are supposed to be cringy.
Right.
It's things when he's supposed to be being funny, or I'm not a physical comedy fan.
Oh, okay.
So anytime he does something that obviously, and that's his shtick. You know what I mean? I don't know if you saw the last Vacation, the one with Ed Helms.
No, I never saw that one.
Don't. It's terrible.
I've been afraid to.
And it's that kind of thing. And he's still doing it, and it's just it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch somebody try to do the same thing over and over again, and especially when, number one, they've lost it. Number two, it's not funny anymore.
I will say he does have a hilarious line in one of my favorite episodes where they're just judging him, and Jeff's giving him this like horrible look, and then Chevy Chase goes, "Stop looking at me like that, Jeff. Stop looking at me like I can't get erections." And then all of them are like, what?
There's definitely funny stuff when like the British song, "She's a GDB."
Oh,
yeah. That's funny. There's funny stuff. It's just
love that.
It's not.
Where would you say you are in the show yet? Like midway through season 1?
I'm past midway.
Okay.
I just watched the dance episode.
Okay. Because I sent you my master list, and you're getting close to some of my favorite episodes, which is about the fried chicken, which they make it into a mafia film, and then paintball at the end of the season. And it's like some of the best television I've ever watched. That paintball episode is what gave the Russo brothers a career in Marvel.
Really?
Kevin Feige literally was like, oh, these guys want to do an action film, and nobody's giving them a chance. But this paintball episode's awesome. And then he got a meeting with them, and he was like, so what would you guys do for Captain America as a sequel? And then they made Winter Soldier, and then went on to make every big Marvel film.
What's so interesting is Kevin Feige was part of The Office. He was one of the...
That's right.
So, like, the fact that that powerhouse of people, creative force behind MCU came from not only TV but comedy
sitcom TV
is really funny.
Hey, some of the best moments in Marvel films are all comedic.
I would say if I there's definitely a pecking order when it comes to those NBC sitcoms, The Office,
Sure.
Parks and Rec, and Community. I would say it's Parks and Rec, just below that, The Office, and then a couple of notches below that, Community.
I get what you mean, but is this off of your personal opinion or just like?
No. This is totally 100% my opinion.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because I was like, first off, watch the rest of Community, and secondly, Parks and Rec is a show that I like binge watched, and when I finished it, I was like, all right, never rewatching that again.
Really, I loved that show.
I thought it was hilarious, but there was a part of me like when it was over, I was like, oh, finally. Like I don't know why.
For some reason, The Office is the most rewatchable show.
That I don't get.
I don't know why I do it either, but
that show ended for me when Michael Scott left, and there's still like 4 seasons after it.
Two, but
Two?
yeah, I get your point.
Because I was like, he's kind of the driving force of that show, but the characters obviously could survive without him. But when he left, I was just kind of like, I don't know if this is for me anymore.
A lot of people were like that, so you're not alone in that.
I'm not in a box, but
if for my movies, I would say I would go with Spencer Confidential, which was a Netflix movie with Mark Wahlberg, Alan Arkin,
Winston Duke,
comedian Eliza Schlesinger, and Winston Duke.
Our man.
Great movie, very funny, good action movie, the whole 9 yards. I would definitely like that. And Mulan.
Oh, that's right.
Live action.
Yeah, you loved that.
The live action version of Mulan was terrific.
And yeah, it's on Disney Plus now, not just for premium access anymore. So if you have Disney Plus, give it a watch. I haven't watched it yet, so that might be something I'll give a look at soon.
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm interested. My movie is Parasite. I chose this not only because of like it being one of the biggest movies, I guess in the previous year, but I watched it this year for the first time, but I rewatched it I think 4 or 5 times throughout the year, just to like pick apart what I really love about it. And this, I mean, have you watched it yet?
I haven't watched it. My wife really wants to see it, but I don't like to read.
Well, yeah, that is kind of the issue with I think most people. And it's crazy that it's like the first foreign film ever to win Best Picture, and it's going to have a large amount of people that just don't watch it because it's subtitles, which I get. I mean, foreign films aren't for everybody, but it's also like, man, I lose myself in that movie because it is everything. It is.
See, I feel the opposite about subtitled movies. I feel like the subtitles take me out of it.
Interesting.
So I have to pull my eyes away from what the action is and what the conversation is to see what they're saying.
But it's so funny because I watch movies with subtitles, even if it's in English.
I hate it.
I do it specifically just so if I miss something, like whatever they said, I can look down and quickly see it. That's interesting. It's but I'm hoping one day you'll give it a shot. I mean, you said your wife wants to watch it, so maybe one day you'll be forced to read. But
maybe one day they'll put out a dubbed version.
Oh no! Oh, I don't want that. All right, so I think that's gonna be it for the question. I like those answers.
Yeah, it was a good year for the movies and stuff like that. It was a shame what happened to a lot of these big movies. Right. I was really excited about Top Gun. I was really excited about Black Widow and things like that. So
it just means this year is probably going to be our busiest year for this podcast.
Yeah,
like we're going to be talking about a lot.
Because they're going to try to cram in. Because they're going to try to recover that money ASAP.
Yeah, exactly. I think the moment that we can like see these movies and big Marvel films, I'm sure we're probably going to do like a review episode about Black Widow when it comes out. Probably Top Gun, like. Movies that we're really excited for, and they're just going to be throwing them at us. So that'll be exciting. All right, so we've got 2 trailers today. I was kind of surprised they didn't release more trailers during the holiday season. I guess, I guess they didn't expect to do much for views during the holiday season. But we have
and you got to think like trailers. Come as a package in front of other movies, and since there was no Hollywood movies released.
That is true, but people are still watching TV. So I
Sure,
guess
sure, but
in most cases, people are putting on holiday stuff where they wouldn't see trailers, so that also makes sense. But anyways, so we have Coming to America, the Coming to America sequel. What did you think of this very short trailer?
so here's the thing. Coming to America is one of my favorite all-time movies.
It's great. It's so
It's
good.
It's so funny. Eddie Murphy at his absolute the peak of his powers.
I would say this is like prime Eddie Murphy, yeah.
You know, and from the trailer, very funny stuff. Hopefully they didn't throw away the funniest scene by putting it in the trailer. That scene in the barbershop where they're talking to him.
Yes.
That's very funny.
I thought
so hopefully
the same thing.
I'm like, oh, I hope that's not the best scene that they just wasted on the trailer.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's my fear. A lot of times now this has all the same people, all the same stars.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good chance that it could still be solid. Problem is it's 2021. And I feel like I already know what's going to happen in this movie. I feel like I've already got the plot down. James Earl Jones' character from the trailer, I'm not giving anything away that people don't know if they've watched the trailer, is dying.
Right.
You know? Which makes Eddie Murphy the king. And on his deathbed, King Jafar, who is James Earl Jones' character, tells Eddie Murphy's character, Prince Akeem, that he has a male heir. And that he has a son in Queens from the first movie.
Right.
Which would make his son like 30 or something now. Whatever the math is on that.
Yeah, 20, that sounds 25. Right.
So whatever. So that doesn't matter. That's beside the point. So first of all, that really discredits a lot of things that you see in the first movie as far as him not wanting to waste his time with somebody that he's not going to care about and focusing all his energy on Lisa.
Right.
Number one. Number two, I'm afraid that they're going to PC this up. Because this is how I see it going right now. He goes to America, finds the kid's not his. It's probably Arsenio's. Because he was telling people that he was the prince.
Right.
And then Hakeem has a daughter. And since the theme of the first movie was the king being able to change the rules, now we're going to have the queen of Zamunda.
I get what you mean.
So that's where we're headed. And I can tell you that right now with only seeing 1 minute and 15 seconds of this movie.
I was going to say, as accurate as all of that sounds, everybody, he has not seen the film yet.
I have not seen the movie.
This is all opinions from the trailer. And I do understand what where you're seeing that going. And it kind of just seems like the common progression of film these days. So I get what you mean. And I'm sure, it doesn't. Do you think that would really take away from the first movie?
I think, honestly, the idea that he has a child outside takes away from the first movie.
That's what I was kind of thinking too.
Because that whole movie, like he wasn't about, his dad wanted him. That's what his dad wanted to be about, was going out and sleeping with chicks and, like sowing his wild oats and whatnot. But he was about finding his queen, which he did, which was Lisa McDowell. And that was the only girl for him. And it kind of diminishes that a bit if there is somebody else. I just don't believe that's going to happen. I really don't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I watched the trailer and I was laughing through a lot of it, but then after sitting on it for a while, I was like, I don't know how this movie is gonna be.
Eddie Murphy, though, by the way, looks great.
He does. I was kind of
he's got to be close to 60.
Yeah. He looks really, really good in the trailer.
Yeah. Arsenio too. So we'll see. I'm definitely gonna watch it, especially since it's gonna be on Amazon Prime. So we'll see how it goes. I feel like that I already know what's going to happen, and that bothers me.
Yeah, I understand.
Not what's going to happen bothers me, but the fact that I already know where it's headed bothers me. So I'm hoping they throw me a curveball. I don't like, number one, the fact that Lisa McDowell isn't the only woman that he was with.
Yeah, because like you said, that just takes away from a lot of it.
It feels wrong. It feels like the antithesis to whatever the first movie stood for and what it was about, kind of.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they'll play into that as well, where kind of like what you said, where he's like, I don't know if that's right, but it turns out, it's not his child or whatever. That's always a possibility. But yeah, I agree. We'll have to just see when the movie comes out. I am nervous, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, like, to mess that movie up would be a real shame.
It really would, because it's like you said, it's like prime Eddie Murphy. It's it's him at his best, and we don't need to kind of diminish the importance of the first movie.
And not at
the
time, not a lot of movies had the same guy playing a lot of characters. So
right?
all of the characters that he introduced to that movie, the barbershop guys and Randy Watson. Dude, Randy Watson is one of my favorite all-time movie characters to ever exist. Sexual chocolate. You cannot, dude. That is so beautiful. I love it. And it looks like Randy Watson's gonna make an appearance in this movie as well.
Yeah.
You might remember him from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama. I mean, it's just so good. It's so good. So I'm hoping they don't screw it up. But it is 2021, and
fingers
that's how
crossed.
we do it.
Fingers crossed. All right, so our other trailer is called The Little Things. We got Denzel, we got Rami Malek, and we have surprisingly, my jaw dropped in the trailer when suddenly it was Jared Leto. I was like, dude, oh, he's in this.
How creepy is Jared Leto in this trailer?
Terrifying.
Dude, my God, he was so scary.
I wish you could pull this off with the Joker.
I'm telling you, just so menacing.
Yes.
Dude, the level of oh no that I got when he came into the screen. And I love Denzel. Who doesn't, obviously.
Honestly, yeah.
Rami Malek is such a talent.
It's so funny because I heard his voice before I saw his face, and I was like, "That's Rami Malek."
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
he's got that cred now where you can just hear his voice and know who he is. But it also looks like this is going to be a real mystery, like a real life. Looks like there's going to be some great twists and stuff. I'm really excited for this movie.
There's a shot at the end of this trailer that I hope doesn't mean what it's insinuating.
Yes.
Because I'm like, that changes everything that you just showed me in the trailer.
Yes, exactly.
So essentially the breakdown of the movie is it looks like they're trying to solve this murder case. And what is Denzel in the trailer? What is he like is he just a security guard, a EMT?
No. He's the LA County Sheriff. So
okay. I couldn't tell. His outfit looks so different.
In Los Angeles,
uniform.
So you got LAPD,
yes,
which is the people that work in the city,
right?
And then you got the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, which handle the county,
right?
So he moves out into the county, and in the trailer they talk about, I believe Rami Malek might be like the chief or something like that.
Yeah, and
he's a high-powered guy.
Yeah, and he comments on you've got such an amazing track record, and you've been in this position for I think you said 15 years. Why haven't you tried to move up? And I think Denzel's just happy where he is. But the overall goal,
no, there's going to be there. So I like to look at trailers and try to take clues from them. One of the very first shots that you see is Denzel looking at a cross on top of a hill.
Right.
And then in that scene that you're talking about right now, where he says you had one of the best clearance case clearances in the department. And yet you've been working for the sheriff's department for 15 years. And he said, why is that? And Denzel says, I went to the wrong church.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a theme there. I feel like there's going to be the thread that goes to the movie is going to have something to do with that.
Yeah.
So,
honestly, it's just, so yes. So there is this, serial killer, around the area that they're trying to hunt down and track. And it looks like very quickly in the trailer, Denzel puts together that it's this Jared Leto character, and they go after him, and doesn't seem to work. But either way, Jared Leto gives off this terrifyingly creepy performance. Denzel seems more rage heavy than I think I've seen him in a long time over getting this guy for these killings, which I'm trying to remember from the trailer. Do they insinuate that one of the girls had something, or one of the girls who was killed had something to do with Denzel?
No, I didn't get that. I didn't get that inference at all.
Okay.
In fact, he asked Rami Malek's character why he wants to get the killer.
Yeah, and then it cuts to
Rami Malek says for all the girls that he's killed.
Yeah, and then it cuts to Rami Malek in like his backyard pool, and he's got some girl like his daughter or something swimming in the pool.
And then Denzel says, "Well, I want to get him for me." You know what I mean? Which is kind of like one of those things. Like a lot of your great, I don't know what to call it, but like a lot of your great crime guys are egotists. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because they see it as a competition. You think of like Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes never was out to do the right thing. It was a battle of wits between him and whoever he faced. That was
right.
You know, so I think that's an interesting angle, and I mean, who knows, dude? There could be so many twists in this. This is and the character that I'm really excited to see.
Jared
Leto's character.
Yes, 100%.
This is a first dayer for me.
Yeah, like for the few shots that they show of him, it's literally like he's so weirdly charismatic for somebody that you're clearly supposed to hate. Like there's a quick cut of him like waving to Denzel, and you just feel the smug but somehow creepiness of it, and I'm just like, God, I cannot wait to watch more of this. And they have that amazing thing of him turning around, because what is it in the trailer where he says like, how's the trunk space of your car? Denzel says it to him when he's like investigating him, and then Denzel's like spying on him. He turns around, pulls the car around, and then it's just them like window to window, and he says, how's the trunk space? And I'm like, ah!
Yeah. that all the way down your spine, you feel that. You know what I mean? And you know, it's a very Charlie Manson vibe you get from this guy.
100%.
And I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a great film, and it's going to be interesting to see, because there's no way it's as cut and dry as the trailer is going to leave.
No.
There's something else going on.
I'm getting a real Prisoners vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of the whole film. And if you haven't seen Prisoners, go see Prisoners. That is a great movie.
Wait, did Once Upon a Time come out in 2020?
2019.
Okay.
Were you about to?
I was about to
I gotta change my answer from 20 minutes ago.
I was about to retcon everything I said earlier. But yeah, so this is a first dayer for me. I'm really excited about this movie. It's called The Little Things, right? And it's gonna be great.
Yeah, The Little Things. And side note, did you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because you made the connection to Charlie Manson? I've literally, dude, you said that, and the first thing that played in my mind was him waving in Once Upon a Time, and I was like, oh, I like that movie. And then cut 20 seconds later, you're going, wait, did Once Upon a Time come out?
Yeah,
you and me are on the same weird wavelength with that movie.
Because I just bought it on I'm not really buying movies anymore.
Yeah.
But I just bought it because it was on sale. Sure. I got the Steelbook with the Brandy on the cover. It's awesome. So it occurred to me. I was like, hey, wait a minute, did that come out? But
I've rewatched that movie so many times.
Now it occurs to me now that it didn't, because I bought the soundtrack in Montreal in November of 2019.
That's right. Which is still one of the coolest grabs, I think.
Yeah.
And man, like, sorry, I'm gonna gush over that movie for like 2 seconds. I've been watching a lot of cowboy stuff recently since Thanksgiving. Like, I really like westerns. And for some reason, Thanksgiving is a time where I get into westerns. And man, we get some of our best Western stuff we've ever seen in a long time in the small amount of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where they're actually filming the Western.
Not fake. You're not wrong.
It's like clearly Quentin Tarantino just wants to make a Western.
I mean, he made a couple of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. Man, I love that movie.
Did you ever see The Kid? Did you watch The Kid?
I don't think I did. Which one is that?
Chris Pratt. It was
Chris Pratt. Oh, that was
Chris
recent.
Pratt and the kid that looks like Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Kid.
It was
that was in 2019.
I believe it was a Netflix movie.
Is that Chris Pratt? That's not Chris Pratt. That's Ethan Hawke.
Chris Pratt's in it though.
Oh, he is. Sorry, on the cover he's not even there. They don't even have his name on the cover. Oh, he's got that big bushy beard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have not seen it. Is it good? Did you like it?
I didn't watch it. I just figured that since you were on your Western kick that you may have watched it.
I did not, and I might put it on my list. Hold on, let me go back to where it is on IMDb and see what its rating is. 5.9 out of 10, but I think it's hard to do modern Westerns these days. Like I want to see that Tom Hanks one, even though we know what the plot is from the trailer.
Oh, News of the World.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does look really good.
It does look good, but we know where that movie's going. You know what I mean?
Sure.
However, I did see a teaser the other day of Tom Cruise like on this higher up like plane shooting down at people, and I was like, oh, I didn't get any of that from the first trailer.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea there was gonna be like gunplay in the movie, but that's exciting.
It's gonna be good, and you can't go wrong with Tom Hanks, obviously.
No, and Tom Hanks in a Western is just, it's so rich. It's right there. Anyways, so we don't have really a lot for news. It's because of the time of year, holiday season. Not much news was coming out either, just like trailers. So I wanted to say
we're starting to hit a second wave of COVID too. That's gonna hurt us.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt us, and you know what? We're gonna just try to keep up with all the new stuff coming out because a lot of it's gonna be digital. So we're gonna be hopefully reviewing a lot as well. I want to make sure we start doing that, just like how we did with Mandalorian. But we could do some new movies that come out too. Like we could do Coming to America, the second one, when that comes out. You and me could review it on here. But I wanted to say, with it being 2021, and after the year that we just had, and how effective it was on movies and movie franchises and movie theaters as a whole, did you have any specific goals or resolutions specifically to movie watching or just watching movies in 2021?
No, other than I want to watch more movies. I feel like I kind of dissed movies a little bit in lieu of shows. Since we had so much time to watch things,
yeah,
I never broke it up into that like 3 hour parcels of watching just movies. I spent a lot more time watching TV shows. So I'd like to maybe correct that ratio a bit more, watch more movies, because there's still a ton of movies that I haven't seen.
Yeah, plenty. It's like we said, a lot of the movies had to get pushed, but a lot of movies still came out this year.
Ton, yeah.
Yeah, we actually have a couple I think we're going to be talking about today that came out just at the end of the year. And I'm excited to talk about those. But I agree. I think I put off a lot of new content in favor for old content. And most of it was all TV based. Another resolution of mine is to watch Wild Hogs at least 15 times this year, so I can try to break your record.
No, that record will never be broken. Nobody's ever watched Wild Hogs more time than I have.
That is honestly the funniest thing, because it's probably true. Like,
no, I promise you, there is no way that people, because for a solid, I would say 8-month span. For a solid 8-month span, I would put that on right as I was going to bed, I don't even know why. It just happened. I don't think it's a great movie. I don't even think it's not even an enjoyable movie to watch.
You don't get a sound machine. You just get Tim Allen.
So and when it would end, like if I would wake up, I would start that son of a bitch over again. So there is no chance that anybody ever watched that movie as much as I did. And I feel like I deserve a trophy for that.
Honestly, I agree. I would love that's gonna be my Christmas present for you next year. Is me getting you like your own personalized trophy with a motorcycle on top, and it'll just say for most watched Wild Hogs ever or something like that. Because my God.
It was such a weird phase of my life.
I did the same thing, but when Scott Pilgrim came out on DVD.
But that's not that weird though.
No, because Scott Pilgrim is
an amazing movie you really loved.
Right. Touche.
I mean, like I would do, I would have movies when I was a little kid. I had a VCR tape,
right.
An extra long play that had Karate Kid 1 and Scarface. And when I was home by myself, that's what I would just put that on, and that was 5 hours. And then, that was it. I didn't, so that's just one of those things you use to pass time with something you love. But with Wild Hogs, it was never about watching it. It was just about it being, there was something, it was like my nightlight or something like that. It was so bizarre.
It's so weird.
It really is. Like, it was just on one night on cable, and I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, that's a bad movie. And then I was like, went to bed the next night, and I was like, I'll just put it on the iPad just to have something on.
I think I remember one of our first episodes we did of this podcast. One of the questions was, like, what's your guilty pleasure movie that you know is bad? And you chose Wild Hogs, and I read off the Rotten Tomato scores, and you were like, maybe 4 or 40%, and it was literally like 13. Like, it's so bad.
And that seems high. That actually seems high for that movie.
Yeah, I mean, my God.
There's a ton of bad movies that I really like. You know what I mean? Like Couples Retreat is one of those movies that I always watch. Any disaster movie, like 2012, I love that movie.
Flash Gordon. Did you ever like Flash Gordon?
I didn't watch Flash Gordon.
Really?
If I did, I was a kid and I don't remember it. But I did watch Masters of the Universe, and I hated that movie.
Oh my God, I forgot about the Masters of the Universe movie. But I watched the Flash Gordon movie a lot. But it wasn't until I got older that I realized how bad of a movie it is.
Yeah.
Because it really is. It's like as a kid, you love it. But
you should watch the Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one, and I love the Punisher.
Yeah, no, you won't after you.
I mean, I know I won't like his performance as the Punisher, but
no, it's bad. But yeah, so it's one of those things where it's unexplainable.
It's unexplainable your love for that movie.
But it also, that time of my life has passed because they took it off of on demand. So I moved on. For a while it was
Hold on.
Well, what?
Do you own a copy of Wild Hogs?
No, I do not.
Going to Amazon. I'm gonna come pick up my Sex Bomb shirt from you that you got me for Christmas, and I'm gonna have a Wild Hogs DVD for you. Because how do you not own that movie? You've watched it more than any other person on the planet Earth, and you don't own it.
Well, I mean, I got rid of all of my DVDs. I gave them all away.
Did you used to own a copy?
What?
Did you used to own a copy?
No. It was on demand. It was on demand on cable. So
I cannot believe you.
No, because I don't watch it on my TV. It's on my iPad. My iPad doesn't have a DVD player on it.
Okay, touche. I'll buy you a digital code. There's something so weird about somebody who's watched a movie more than any other person and they don't own that movie.
Oh yeah, that was the beauty of on demand. And then once that was gone, I went to another Martin Lawrence beauty called Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, which I actually did like.
I was gonna say, I think you've recommended that movie before.
Yeah,
on the podcast.
that's actually a really good movie. So that just became my next movie.
The movie to fall asleep to.
Yeah,
for
and then
8
it was
months.
and then it was The Office, and
That's fine.
Now I go to bed so late that I just crash, so it doesn't even matter.
But yeah, going back to the original point, my goal as well is to watch more movies, and not just be Wild Hogs.
Well, you remember that movie we talked about a couple weeks ago, Embattled?
Embattled. That's right. We did talk about that, didn't we?
That's on demand.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So I need to watch that. That's just one of those. It's like Queen and Slim. I never watched that. The Photograph. Never watched that.
Queen and Slim.
You know what I mean?
Because of our work, I own a T-shirt of Queen and Slim and The Invisible Man, and I haven't seen either of those movies, and they both look really good. For The Invisible Man.
Yeah,
he's invisible.
Can't see.
Oh. Touche. But it's so funny because it really is weird how much of maybe it's because you and me were so used to going to movies to watch the new thing that we weren't really prepared for digital release.
Yeah, for me, I think it's just you're just looking ahead at this nothingness, and you want to fill up that. Not so much worried about what you're doing right now,
right?
But I'm going to get into a TV show that's something that's going to occupy me for the foreseeable future. You know what I mean? Something like that.
And your main reason for not watching Community was it'll take too long. It's got 6 seasons. It's too long.
I mean, that's a lot of...
You see the foreseeable future, but not the foreseeable future.
But network is so different because it's
22 episodes.
I mean, that's a lot of episodes to get invested in.
I think,
and not only that, but when you commit to that many episodes, I feel like there's definitely a drop in quality. So,
I will say, and as you watch more Community, I'll clearly go into it with you, how the change of the show goes. But I will say, towards the end of, I want to say season 4, they throughout the show already they had kept making jokes about other TV shows that it needs 6 seasons in a movie. So by the end of actually season 5, and they didn't know if they were going to come back for a 6th season, it cuts to black with hashtag 6 seasons in a movie. And then at the end of season 6, it cuts to black with hashtag and a movie. And now we're just waiting on the movie. And they had a reunion not too long ago where they asked Dan Harmon and he was like, yeah, I want to write it, but the problem's going to be getting everybody together. So many of them are superstars now. Donald Glover will cost $4 million a day just to have him on set. And then Donald Glover was like, nah, I'd do it. I wouldn't charge you that much. And then so then everybody was like, Dan, write it. And he's like, all right, I guess I got to write it. We're getting our movie.
I love it. Yeah, I love Donald Glover, dude. He's so funny. And it feels like we're seeing it a lot through Abed's eyes. You know what I mean? Since he's the TV buff. So one of my favorite episodes so far was the MASH episode.
The MASH episode. Oh, that's right. And they're going by their names. And then what is it right at the end where it reveals that Donald Glover never watched MASH?
Not Donald Glover. Joel McHale.
Joel McHale. It's Jeff's character. Yeah. So he had no idea what he was talking about.
Right. Exactly. So,
but I like Abed's TV eye and everything. It really heightens it because it does awkwardly break the fourth wall and keep it all together at the same time where they're like, oh, he's just weird. But he's like, oh yeah, we're in a TV show.
But also the best part of every episode is he and Troy's whatever they do at the end of the episode.
Yes, their little joke at the end of the episode always kills me. Have you seen Troy and Abed in the morning yet?
No.
Okay, so there's this running gag that you'll get to where it's their after credits thing, and it's them doing their own television show. That's awesome. And it's them in the study room, and all the background characters are against the window with signs and stuff, and then they just go Troy and Abed in the morning, and it's just them doing a 6 a.m. Fox and Friends style Good Morning America show. It's really funny.
It's very funny.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for you to see more, and I'm excited to hear what you think of those episodes that I sent you as like some of the best of season 1. But so I think to end the podcast, it would be appropriate if we started talking about some of the new movies that came out and we recently watched. The two big ones were Soul and Wonder Woman. Did you actually get to watch Wonder Woman? I know you watched Soul.
I did. I watched them both. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess we'll talk about both of them. Do we think we'll get into spoilers?
We should avoid them. I mean,
Okay,
I think those things are new enough, and we can talk about it, I think, without spoiling it.
I think so too. So Tank, you get to choose. What are we talking about first, Soul or Wonder Woman?
Let's talk about Wonder Woman, because I feel like Soul's a little bit more cut and dry for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. So for Soul, let's talk about Soul first, just because it's more cut and dry.
Cut and dry, not in a bad way though, right?
No.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's Pixar, so it's great.
That's all you have to say, right? Like, it's Pixar, so it's great. Like, it's exactly what you're expecting.
There's things I wish there would have been more of. There's things I wish there would have been less of. But overall, great. Message was great. Animation in this movie is next level. I feel like this is like the next...
God. Like,
the next step, yeah.
The character designs. And I'm not talking about their little soul buddies, because that's just like, that's standard Pixar to me at this point. If I see a cutesy little character, I'm like, whatever. When they go like into our world in the human realm and we are seeing all of these different designed characters, every single person looks like a different person. Yeah. And like, Pixar has come a long way. In Toy Story 1, all the kids that come over for Andy's birthday party, if you look closely, all of their faces are Andy. They're all the same person.
And like the detail that goes into every single thing that they do is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's next, it's like watching the difference between like the last movie I saw. I can't even remember what the last Pixar movie I saw. Oh, Onward, yeah. And this one is like subtle but very, very noticeable.
I've noticed with Pixar films, they always somebody pointed this out to me a long time ago, that there's one aspect of animation that they try to like perfect in each of their movies. So in Ratatouille, it was the food. They tried to make the food look like super realistic and good. And in The Good Dinosaur, I know this one is like dumb because nobody watched The Good Dinosaur, but in that movie, they tried to make the water look as realistic as possible, to the point that the opening shot of the film I thought was live action.
Oh, wow.
Like, it looks ridiculously good. And then that water technology they used in Moana. Like, and they just improve on everything. And I really do think that for Soul, it was character design and how characters interacted and moved in the world. Joe, the main character, his hands, he's a piano player, his hands looked like almost disturbingly real because of he's an animated character. It was like a weird thing where there is Uncanny Valley, but there's also not at the same time. Like, it was incredible. But to what you were saying, I think, where you said you kind of wished you saw more of something, I did too, and I think we've had this conversation, but I can't remember, where I wanted more music-heavy stuff. Like, I wanted more moments with the music, because that was the thing that most excited me with, it being very jazz-heavy, with the story, and he's a jazz musician, so I figured there was going to be a lot of music involved in the movie, and there were a lot of good scenes. There's one in particular with him having all of these items from the movie, and he's playing a piano to it, and that scene like really killed me. And all I'm thinking is like, God, I wish we had a lot more of this in the film.
Yeah, and I thought there was a lot of MacGuffins in the movie as well.
Because I think that was the overall plot. It was like, well, we need this to happen. Oh, well, before we can do that, this has got it. And before that, oh no, like, there's a moment where his pants get ripped.
Into that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the movie was enjoyable. I mean, it was still a really good movie and good
Absolutely.
message and everything like that. I wouldn't shy away from it. I just I just thought, all right, that's not their best effort, but it's still Pixar and it's still great.
I did see somebody on Twitter. Now, this is not me bashing anybody's opinion, but it was kind of shocking to me. Where somebody on Twitter said, "Okay, that's it. Soul is my favorite Pixar film now." And I was like, "Favorite?
That's bold.
That is a bold statement, my friend." And I'm thinking
Yeah.
that's got to be recency bias right there. Like you just saw it, so it's on the top of your mind. Like Onward, and I think for both of us was a movie that hit us both in like great ways, and I think we both love that movie. But I still wouldn't call that my favorite Pixar film.
Wow, man, you got Bing Bong down in a trailer or down in a gully. You
Oh
can't.
yeah, Inside Out, your favorite?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, it's so
there's
good.
but there's so many good ones too, though.
Mine's Wall-E.
Uh, Wally's great.
Yeah, I love
Wally's
Wall-E.
amazing. I mean, like both those are both right there, about top of my head, both better than Soul.
Yeah, I would agree.
Moana better than Soul.
Moana's not Pixar.
No kidding.
Yeah, I know. That's what. There's so many Disney animated that people don't know is not Pixar, and it always surprises me. But like
confusing.
Wreck-It Ralph, people think is Pixar. It's not Pixar.
Really?
I know.
Wreck-It Ralph is great too.
Wreck-It Ralph is great.
Uh-huh.
It's probably my favorite. This is always how I have to put it. There's like favorite Pixar, and then there's favorite Disney animation. And Wreck-It Ralph's my favorite Disney animation. But you know,
Coco was amazing.
they've got Coco, they've got Monsters Inc., they've got
Up?
Cars.
Come on.
Up. I have a weird beef with Up though.
Oh, what is it?
Well, it's that the best parts of the movie is the first 5 minutes, and then after that, I don't need to watch anymore.
Oh wow.
That
Okay.
opening montage, it's literally, here's what I think. Pixar has their little Pixar shorts that they play before movies when you see them in theaters.
Yeah,
Up,
yeah.
I think, started as a Pixar short, and they said, we could make this a full-length movie, and then they did. And I feel like that movie could be like, you don't need the talking dog. You don't, there's so much of that film that I feel like could have been broken down to one of their Pixar shorts. That really the first 5 minutes where they have that beautiful montage with his life with Ellie, all I'm thinking is like, damn, this is all I need. Like, this is the entire movie right here. And then they go on their adventure, and I'm like, man, that's fine.
I'll give you that.
That's my weird beef with Up. If people love Up though, I don't blame them for that. It honestly is a good movie. Coco, my God, like so much to love about Coco. And that was one you hadn't seen for a long time, right?
we finally watched it not long ago, actually.
Yeah, and that's, oh my God, the music in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the music, man. Remember me. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Good stuff.
And then they have Cars.
You hate Cars.
I mean, I think the first one's fine. I don't know why they needed to make 2 more.
Yeah,
And
that's a
15
good question.
shorts. It's because everybody loves Mater so much.
Tomater.
Tomater, but without the t. But yeah, I would recommend it absolutely. You're gonna
absolutely. It's free.
Yeah, if you got Disney Plus, it's on there. It's not like the Premier Access thing. The lesson's very good, and I think it just makes you kind of appreciate everything you have more, like a Pixar film does. But all right, so let's talk about the one that's not so cut and dry. Wonder Woman 1984. We'll try not to get into. I don't think we're gonna get into spoilers. We're gonna give pretty base opinions. But Tank, what did you think of 1984?
I liked it a lot.
I did too.
I thought it was really good. I thought the plot was a little silly.
Yes, I agree.
Honestly, but the action and the casting more than made up for it. Kristen Wiig,
Yes.
fantastic. Pedro Pascal, fantastic. Gal Gadot. What's not to say?
I saw you take a half beat. So I guess my question is, have you seen the internet's reaction to this movie?
I've heard that it's poor. It's a poor reaction.
People hate this film. And Honestly, I don't get it. I don't get the hate. People are like,
No.
I saw somebody's review that said something like, the movie takes place in 1984. It wasn't made in 1984. What's with all this cheesy dialogue? And I was like, it's a superhero movie. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's just so pretentious. That's just some pretentious bullshit.
It's honestly like, and then what you were saying about the action, like this is some of the best action I've seen in a DC movie.
Without question. So I feel like a lot of it was set up. I feel like people sat around in a room trying to figure out a way that they could bring Chris Pine back.
Yes, which honestly, if I could probably take one thing in the movie, it would be him, even though he's very important to the overall plot.
And honestly, like some of the emotional stuff in it and like the questions it brought up and things like that, I thought were good. I thought I thought he was very good in the movie.
Yes.
And I thought it was very interesting the way they used him to canonize some of the things that she's known for.
Yes. Okay. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and I frickin' screamed at that scene because I was so frickin' happy.
Yeah.
If I could say anything about this movie, I really feel like it was an overall celebration of the 80s Wonder Woman TV show.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt it was. There was so much that harped back to the original 80s TV show that I was just happy to see references. Now, a movie shouldn't be built on references, and I don't think it was. I just think there was a lot of homages to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe set up some plot holes, maybe set up some things that just had to happen because yada, yada, yada. But also, I just had a fun time watching it. People are giving this movie 2 out of 10s on IMDb, and I don't understand it. It is officially, it came out recently, it is officially the lowest rated DCEU movie. That means Wonder Woman 1984 is worse than Aquaman. It's worse than Justice League. It's worse than Batman v Superman. It's worse than Man of Steel, and I just don't get it because
none of those things are true.
Exactly. I had so much more fun.
Yeah.
With Wonder Woman 1984 than I had with any of those films, and I love Superman. Batman v Superman has a lot of problems, but I love seeing them on screen. Aquaman was surprisingly fun, but Wonder Woman 1984, I mean, I just had a ball watching it.
Dude, the opening sequence in the mall is incredible.
Yes, and there was a report that came out recently that I guess some DC executives were like, yeah, we need to cut out the mall scene and her as a child in the beginning of the film. We need to cut out both of those for time. And then Patty Jenkins was like, you can't cut out either of those. If I had to choose one, it would probably be her as a child, but I get why it's in there. It's
right. Yeah.
And it also, sequels do this all the time where they kind of have to harp back to where her roots are from. And I thought that entire scene of her as a child was very entertaining.
Absolutely. Like how would you want to cut? I mean, I feel like that cost a lot of money to film. So cutting that would just be like, a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, so much on the cutting room floor. I don't get that decision. But
I don't know, man. I can't see why people would hate this, especially more than Justice League. Because there was a lot of great stuff about this movie.
And I promise you, when Zack Snyder's Justice League, because it's so hyped to hell, when that director's cut whatever comes out on HBO Max, people are going to love it so much that it's going to piss me off because of the absolute hate people gave Wonder Woman 1984. And I'm like, I get that having his vision is very important because he set up so much beforehand. He's not going to save that movie with a couple of additional scenes.
Absolutely not.
And I promise you, it's going to get like 87% on Rotten Tomatoes for Justice League Zack Snyder cut. And there's Wonder Woman with 34%. I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't understand the hate because it was great. I
thought it was fantastic.
I thought it was a really fun superhero flick. Nothing absolutely wrong with cheesy dialogue in a movie where
No.
somebody can summon the power of lightning. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
that's absolutely fine.
And I know we should wrap it up soon, but I do want to quickly harp on what you said about Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal. Both of their performances were so refreshing in
Mm-hmm.
so many movies, and I was telling this to the person I was watching the movie with. There is so much wrong with superhero movies where the villains are just not interesting. And I feel
Yeah.
like more recently, we've gotten a lot more interesting villains. Pedro Pascal's abilities, I'm just going to leave it at that, are a little confusing at the start, but his character at his core is so entertaining and interesting to watch as a villain that you honestly feel bad for him at the end.
And I call this the Killmonger effect. That's what I
Yes,
call this.
absolutely.
Because ever since Eric Killmonger, people have been making more than just two-dimensional evil, villains. It's not
100%.
about good versus evil. It's about, what drives you and what
makes
motivates
people
you.
evil.
You know what I mean? Like what motivated Pedro Pascal turned him into a bad person. Kristen
Yes.
Wiig, same thing. Kristen Wiig, a very Baxter Stockman type of character who was just,
Yeah.
trying to get by, and then once found power, was corruptible, and
Yes.
and like so many people would be. So
I
thought this is how you make your villains more interesting, by not making them easily hateable. You gotta
Yes.
want to like them a little bit.
So many people kept comparing Kristen Wiig's, I guess, character / performance to Jim Carrey's Riddler, Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy, Jamie Foxx's Electro, and all of these characters had the same thing in common, that it was a nerdy character, homely looking because they have glasses on, that suddenly when they get power become way more into themselves and bad guys. And people were complaining, why is it that there's this trope in movies and superhero movies that when a nerd gets power, they become a bad guy? And all I'm thinking is, yeah, I wonder why that would happen. Are you kidding me?
I mean, to not understand that is to know absolutely zero about human psyche. Number one.
Thank you.
Number two, again, it's not about being bad, because without giving away too much about the movie, Kristen Wiig wasn't doing what she was doing just to be evil.
No.
She was doing what she was doing to protect what she had gotten.
In fact, a lot of her even discovering her own abilities is like, I love those scenes, because I'm always like, it's this weird moment where I'm watching it going like, yeah, you go, girl, look what you can do. There's a scene where she can suddenly like lift weights, and it's hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I know you become the villain in this movie, but I'm so happy for you right now.
Yeah, and think about like Magneto. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Magneto, same kind of thing, where what he's doing, yeah, it's evil, but it's because it's a reaction to not only what he faced growing up,
yes,
with the Holocaust, but also what his kind, as in mutants, is facing. You know what I mean? So good versus evil is kind of a blurred line.
Mm-hmm.
Right versus wrong still exists, but it's also kind of like, but what do you know? So it's the same kind of thing with this, and I think that makes all the difference in whether or not you're now somebody like Claw, go back to Black Panther, is a great villain because he's fun to watch.
Sure, absolutely.
His motivations are all selfish, they're all bad, but he's fun to watch because he's funny.
When he dies in that movie, I straight up was like, no, I was so sad. I loved him.
It was a mistake. It was definitely a mistake.
I think so too. But yeah, so I'm happy you and me are on the same wavelength of Wonder Woman, because I was honestly afraid that we were going to talk about it today, and you were for some reason going to have all the same general opinions. Because we can both admit, yeah, the script is a little cheesy and wishy-washy, but the problem is, I don't care.
Yeah, I know, that's not why I watched that movie.
No.
You know what I mean? I watched for ass kicking. You know what I mean?
And there's so much of it, and some of the best that we've gotten in a long time. And especially, they use the lasso of truth to the best I've ever seen it used, I think, on film ever. Like,
I'm just hoping that the next one is Wonder Woman 1994, and she goes to Seattle during the Grudge scene.
And you just want to see the Grudge version of Wonder Woman?
And Chris Pine comes back with an eyebrow piercing.
Oh, no.
And Jinkos.
Yeah, man. It was, I think if you enjoy superhero movies and you don't have the stigma that every movie needs to be a masterpiece, which, by the way, DC doesn't have a great track record with anyways.
No, absolutely not.
Like, then you're going to have a good time. Because, honestly, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was cheering while watching this movie for a lot of scenes because of how entertaining it was. And to see the absolute destructive force people online have about it is really disappointing for me. Especially
and kind of ridiculous.
Very ridiculous, especially because Patty Jenkins did not know if she was going to do Wonder Woman 3 unless the movie had like pretty good returns. And even after all of this flack, she has announced that she is doing Wonder Woman 3 and she will direct it. And I was so happy. And of course, I made the mistake of looking at the comments section, and it's just people going, no, enough. Can we get another director, please? I think we've had enough of Patty Jenkins. These movies shouldn't all have the same director. And I'm like, then what are you doing with Zack Snyder? Come on. I'm just, what am I doing? But I enjoyed it, and I'm happy you did too, Tank.
I did. I really liked it.
All right, so let's give quick recommendations. Our first recommendations of 2021. Better make them good, because I didn't.
So much pressure.
Do you have a really good one? Is that why you're so confident, or?
I'm not confident. That's a lot of pressure.
It's actually a lot of pressure. Mine's probably not going to be that great either.
I'm going to go with, I don't know if I've recommended this before, but Cobra Kai, they pushed the release date early.
That's right.
So it's out today.
That's crazy.
Season 3 is out today. Seasons 1 and 2, perfect. They took Karate Kid, they modernized it, they made it good. They paid homage to the past without being corny, and they brought the show into the future in a great way. So Cobra Kai, seasons 1, 2, and 3. If you haven't seen it, season 3. I'm about to watch myself this weekend.
Have you seen any early reviews for season 3?
I have not.
Do you want me to tell you what the overall love of it is?
Sure.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah, I mean,
people are blowing up about how great it is.
I mean, this is a prime example of what we were just talking about the villain being a three-dimensional character.
Yes.
All this time we've, in the 80s, good and evil was clear cut.
Yeah.
And we had the Cold War, so we knew what was good, we knew what was bad, and this was good and this was evil, and that's the way it went. But when you inspect further and deeper into a movie like Karate Kid, what you really got is, Johnny's a dick, but this guy comes in from nowhere and steals his girlfriend, tries to horn in on his action with his friends. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like there's maybe a little bit more to this story. So this is more to that story.
Right.
And it's an interesting and it's kind of an interesting flip-flop on the telling of the story. And they do a great job. And they've I got to tell you, they had a fight scene at the last episode of the last season where all the kids in the high school, when the two different factions had a fight, and it was awesome. It was an awesome karate fight in a high school. So
which you just by the way, it's really, you watch that and you just think to yourself, God, what era am I living in?
Yeah.
Because you don't see that. You don't see that on modern television.
It reminds me of the old karate fights we used to have back in my high school.
Yeah. You remember getting into a beef and then the guy being like, see me behind the gym. And then you show up in your gi and you're just like.
Yeah. We would just karate fight for hours. And we all after 2 weeks of karate knew all the moves already. So it's really awesome.
Well, that's a fantastic recommendation. Mine is actually a specific episode to a TV show. I would say you don't have to watch the rest of the episodes to understand this, because it's really just the implication and how important the episode is that means so much to me. But I've been rewatching a lot of Star Wars. Ever since Mandalorian ended, I kind of decided to rewatch the canon. So like I started with Phantom Menace. I'm doing it in chronological order. Did the prequels, watched a couple episodes of the Clone Wars in between, and then I watched a few episodes of Star Wars Rebels, which takes place before A New Hope. And the episodes that I chose from Rebels were all like very big, important episodes to the show. But there's one particular episode called Twin Sons that is so freaking good. And essentially, the premise of the episode is that our main character is hearing the voice of Darth Maul, who at this point is still alive in the canon, and he learns that Darth Maul is hunting Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine. And our main character says, I have to go save Obi-Wan. And the episode does not really follow that, his goal. And it is the canonical end of Obi-Wan and Darth Maul's relationship. And it is some of the best Star Wars I think I've seen in a long, long time. Like, for at least the Jedi, I would say. And I have to recommend that episode. It's like 22 minutes long. If you have Disney Plus, it's like season 3, episode 14. I don't know. It's called Twin Sons. It's really, really good. And it's some of the best that we've seen from Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, both as old men. Just, oh, it's so great. So I highly recommend that. Please, everybody, go watch that episode. That's my recommendation.
I like it.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. We're on YouTube at No Talking During the Movies. And also, please check us out on Instagram, where we'll tease episodes and talk about our recommendations. We're also No Talking During the Movies on there. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us. Tank, how are you feeling in 2021?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling positive. Future's so bright. I gotta look away.
Wear shades.
Yeah,
like your little bit at the beginning, beginning of the episode. All right. Well, once again, I am your host, Stephen Austin.
I am your creepy Uncle Tank.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.